Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Ready in Minutes workout. Today we've got an intermediate double kettlebell circuit that focuses on offset loads. So basically what this means is that you're going to shift all the weight or the stability to one side before doing it on the other. This will be a great way to refine your double kettlebell skill work, as well as train your core balance and stability. So with that said, let's dive in and see what we're doing. Okay, so as I mentioned before, your balance is going to be challenged with this circuit, as well as your coordination. But let's break down each of the 5 parts of the sequence so this makes more sense. So let's break down each of the 5 parts of the sequence to simplify this for you as much as possible and make it easier for you to focus on your skill work. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, so right off the bat, we have a double swing. So you want to set up with the kettlebells in a V shape. That means the handles are tilted down and they look like they're making a V. From here, you're going to set up 1 foot's distance from the bell. And remember, if there's enough room for it to pass between your feet, it's going to pass through your legs, provided you're a little externally rotated on each foot. So you don't want them facing totally straight, you want them facing outward. Then we're gonna set up into our hinge, pushing our butt back. We're gonna bend our knees to get low enough to reach the bells, place our hands on them, tilt them off their base while packing our shoulders, hike back and swing out. Now, you want this to be about shoulder height, keeping the shoulders packed for the entire duration. It's really not that much more complicated than a regular 2-hand swing, but now there's an even distribution of weight on the left side and the right side, and you have a slightly wider base to account for 2 bells. Once you're done here, after your last swing, you're gonna guide the bells into the rack, and we'll be doing a alternating gorilla clean. So we're gonna drop the bell down between our legs, and we're kind of in a squat position here. We're gonna drive up, and then the other bell pulls us back down. We're gonna alternate this for all reps. The important thing to remember about the gorilla clean is that it's a little more squatty in nature. You're going to stay upright because you've got 1 bell in the rack position. So whereas a regular clean would pull you into a hinge, this one will be pulling you into more or less a squat. Next up, we've got the trickiest part of our sequence, which is a push press to a seesaw press. And what this will look like is, after guiding the bell back into the rack, you're gonna use your hips to send the bells overhead. Then gonna guide them back to the rack, press one side, lower it while pressing the other side, guide that one back to the rack, and repeat. Bells go down, press out, lower, press out, guide back to the rack, and repeat. Once we're done here, we're going to get into a kickstand and drop the bells. Now we're in our kickstand deadlift position. We are going to push the ground away and squeeze our glutes at the top. Now, when you're doing this, you want the bells in line with your legs. You don't want the weight out in front of you. That's not good. It's gonna throw your balance off and probably load up your lower back. Keep the bells in line with your leg as you hinge and make your way to the top. Once you finish your reps on one side, we're gonna switch the kickstand and do it on the other. After your last rep, I want you to hinge and dead clean to the rack position. So to do this, we're gonna prime the hinge. It's in line with our legs. We're gonna hit the bottom, we're gonna feel our hamstrings engage and push the ground away explosively. Finishing up, we're going to do an offset overhead march. So all this means is one side goes overhead, one side stays in the rack, and we're gonna march for 10 paces on one side. Once we finish, do the same thing on the other. Once you finish all your steps, guide the belt back to the rack and clean down for the finish. Okay, so like I said before, there's quite a bit of coordination and balance involved. So if you feel like you need to take breaks between each part of the sequence, please do so. Because the goal for today, in addition to building strength, is refining your skills and building more balance and stability. There's almost no point to rushing through all of this if you're going to do it with diminishing quality as you go on. So take breaks if you need it. Okay, now let's do it 2 times together. Okay, starting with our double swing. Set up with your kettlebells in a V shape, your feet out to the side, hinge on over, tilt the bells off their base, hike back, and swing for 5. Clean after this one. Okay, now we're gonna do our gorilla clean. So one side drops, the other one stays in a rack, and we're in a semi-squat position. Okay, let's narrow up our stance. Push press to seesaw press. So bend the knees, snap it overhead, guide it to the rack, press on one side, press on the other side, back to the rack. Let's do it 4 more times. All right, let's set up in our kickstand. So the other foot just behind, and we're going to dead clean down. Let it hover here next to your leg and push the ground away. Squeeze your glutes at the top. 5 on each side. Switch the kickstand. One last bonus one to dead clean it back to the rack. All right, now offset marching. 10 on one side, 10 on the other side. Leg goes up and down. Ten, guide it back to the rack, press the other one out, and we're off. And 10. Guide it back to the rack and down to the ground. That's the end of round 1. Take a break if you need to before diving into round 2. Okay, round 2. Let's set up for our double swing. Give ourselves enough space for it to pass between our legs, feet externally rotated. Hinge, tilt, and swing for 5. Clean on this next one. All right, narrow your stance if you need to. Gorilla clean. Got dizzy. Gorilla clean for 4 on each side. All right, push press, the seesaw press. Snap it to the top, guide it to the rack, press on one side, press on the other side, and repeat. All right, let's set up in our kickstand. Dead clean straight down, belt in line with our shin, and push the ground away, squeeze our glutes at the top. All right, switch legs. Five, one last bonus one to dead clean it back to the rack. All right, press one side overhead, march 10 times, and then do the same on the other side. Eight, and 9, and 10. All right, let's switch. Seven, and 8, and 9, and 10. All right, got it back to the rack and down to the ground for the finish. All right, excellent job, guys. That was not an easy one, especially from a balance coordination perspective. There's a lot going on there that will challenge you. But a quick side note, it is fantastic to do offset training once in a while to give your core a different stimulus about managing loads. And ultimately, this kind of work that forces it to stay on its toes while it balances and stabilizes helps to make for a much stronger core overall. So that said, as usual, as I like to tell you, have fun with it. Let me know what you love about it or don't like about it. And send me a message or drop me a comment if you have any trouble with any of the techniques. We're always happy to provide whatever feedback we can on any of these workouts. All right, that's it for me this time. I'll see you guys real soon on the next one. Stay strong.